Good evening. It's Wednesday, May 4th, 2022. I would
Maybe.
normally make a joke about May the 4th be with you, but the 4th is aggressively not with a single woman in this country right now. So, fuck y'all.
Do something else, yeah.
Fuck y'all. Welcome back to Boomer Rex Tonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. I'm RisenLadyHeathen, and I'm mad. Hey, asshole, what separates our show from other millennial news podcasts?
I mean, in a little while, it's going to be a big ass piece of Lexan. We're going to have to talk through one of those little phones. But
Oh,
We have a boomer, and not just any boomer. We have Mr. Boomer Rex himself.
yeah, good evening.
You two eat, sleep, and breathe top politics, and I'm learning that's 3 unique perspectives we share along with the facts from our literal round table. If you are new, welcome. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and all those fun things. Let's dig right into our headlines. Be careful what you ask.
Yeah, I just love it. So, Golf Channel reporter Jerry Foltz walks right into a rake, and it's a hell of a rake. So, the golf world's number 3 woman golfer, Lydia Ko, has been praised for her honest answer. During the final round on Sunday, she could be seen receiving treatment from her physical therapist for an apparent tight back. And so, having completed a round, posting a 1 under to finish tied for 3rd, the New Zealand player was asked by Jerry Foltz about the trainer, his treatment, and is there any, concern about long term? And she said, "I hope not. It's that time of the month."
Yeah, guys, shut the fuck up.
Well, no.
No, I really
why
don't
is that
think
a
most.
rake? This is something that happens, and we never talk about it,
Yeah.
right? Women are taught to be ashamed of it and hide it, or whatever the right words are. And I thought it was amusing that she didn't think that. Anyway, he was at a loss for words.
Good.
No,
And gracious enough to say on Twitter, yeah, I was at a loss for words.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I thought that was a good thing.
no, that's a good thing. It feels like learning. Good job.
Yeah, no, and again, a lot of men don't really know a lot about what menstruating does to a woman.
So what
So-
happens when you grow up in an abstinence-only state?
It-
You're stupid.
It's one of those situations where different women have different
Reactions.
things, right? So some women get moody during their periods, some women get moody before, some women get moody after.
Some get tight backs.
But it's not that we're like losing our minds or whatever.
Nope, yeah.
It's
Yeah, TV lied to you. Big shock.
Yeah.
We're
guys,
the only thing that doesn't lie to you. Ever.
guys go through similar sort of cycles where they're like in whatever, and they have these moods, and me and my friend used to call it dominant male monkey syndrome, because all of our male friends once a month would go through a similar angry phase, right, where they're just mad about everything all the time. And so that was a joke that we had.
Weird.
Because it was something that we noticed. And
Low-level primate democracy. If they're
Yeah.
mad about the right thing, they can be in charge.
But
Cool.
it's don't be whatever because you don't know. Feel free to ask a woman; she'll tell you all about it. And don't be rude about it. You don't have to be a dick
Yeah.
to learn something new. And that's that. Saturn's moon Titan looks a bit like Earth. What's going on here?
So you remember the pictures we got when the lander went down on Titan, right? And
With all
you've
the
got
spiders.
lakes and rivers and mountains and valleys. and
Car-sized spiders.
really looked like Earth.
Yeah.
Right? And people have been saying for a while, well, why? Right? It's Titan,
Yeah.
right? And so it's not like Earth, right? Those rivers and lakes, those are liquid methane,
Yeah.
right? That terrain that's being eroded and so forth, that's deposits of hydrocarbons, right? Why the hell would it look that way? Well, turns out that those hydrocarbons are very fragile relative to rocks, right?
Yeah.
So they wear in with these little methane rivers and so forth. They wear down just like landscapes do on Earth when water flows through them. So anyway, what they discovered is that, or what they hypothesized is, that the methane and nitrogen wind grinds these particles down very, very fine. And it turns out there are other chemical processes in the soil, just one say, that build the granules back to give them some larger size, so the wind doesn't just put them all in the atmosphere and be done with it.
Interesting.
Anyway, it's just kind of cool.
Yeah, that's intriguing.
Yeah.
We should look at Titan more.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. 200 plus sailors moved off an aircraft carrier. Why?
I came so close to putting this under about damn time. So, as you recall, there'd been several suicides on the George Washington.
Did we talk about that?
I remember hearing about it.
Yeah,
I
and everybody's
didn't
been
hear
talking about it. So anyway, they're in port for an overhaul. So they're not at sea. They're not doing their regular jobs. The troops are providing security and so forth. I'm sorry, the sailors. And many of them have been living on the carrier while this is going on. But the refurbishment is 24 hours a day. And so there's lots of noises and so forth and traffic. And so it's really hard to sleep. And, and these were things that at least one of the soldiers complained about before committing suicide. So I just
lack
thought,
of sleep can do weird things to the human brain over time.
Yep. So more than 200 have been moved off the George Washington and into nearby military housing.
That makes sense. I don't
Right?
understand
Makes
why they were
perfect
keeping them on
sense.
the ship anyway.
So Captain Brent Gaunt made the decision to allow soldiers living on board to move to other accommodations. On the first day of the move, more than 200 sailors left the carrier, and he said the permission will continue until no one else wants to leave the carrier.
Yeah.
Now, how many sailors have they had commit suicide?
Three. At least three. I hadn't heard of a fourth.
And they didn't think after the first
I
one,
think
like
this
maybe
is
something's
probably-
not okay?
First one's hard.
Yeah.
Right, but you'd think they would at least turn an eye to that.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, I
that's what
expect
I'm
this
more
is.
curious about.
I think this is probably the result of the investigation, and they talked to a bunch of soldiers and said, "This is horrible." And Captain, what was it? Gaunt stood up and said, "This is bullshit. What that you're doing to my sailors." And
Well done.
let's get them out of here. Yes, way to go.
Yeah, again, I can understand having them when they're on duty doing rounds and stuff. But when they're not working, like when they're not doing rounds and they're sleeping or whatever, why were they on the ship? That doesn't make sense to me. So, anyway. Russian forces not doing well in Ukraine. Woohoo! I love to hear it. Tell me.
Yeah, so they haven't really taken Mariupol yet, right? There's still people in the steel mill and so on. There was a report this morning we'd lost comms with them, but those have been restored, et cetera, et cetera. But the Russians have been quietly moving the troops out of the town, right? And they're down to about 2,000 troops, which is sort of 2 of their battalion tactical groups.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's not a big enough pile of Russians to do much based on what we've seen. So I'm kind of hoping they'll get themselves hurt. They're being moved into the eastern part of Ukraine because things aren't going well for Russia. There used to be 10 battalion tactical groups.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they're now attempting to move north and have paused either to create better defensive positions or to refit and reposture themselves. Guys, you go do that in some wooded area somewhere, and some Ukrainian private is going to sneak up on you with a javelin and make you sorry.
Right?
So, way to go. Way to go, javelin.
All right.
Shoot him in the dick.
Keep up the good work, Ukraine. We love you. Them EU folks are getting aggressive. What's going on here?
Yeah. We talked at the beginning, right? Was it going to be hard to keep NATO together? Right?
Yeah.
And
We haven't had a
You know,
real
there was-
test of NATO since
Yeah.
Transformers were kicking ass on television.
Well, and there was speculation that Germany was so tied into Russia, and
Yep.
the UK and their banking industry were so tied into Russia and so forth. Watching what's going on in Ukraine has solidified the EU. They've grown some damn stones. So, what the bloc plans to do is list individuals who committed war crimes in Bucha, remove Russia's largest bank, Sberbank, and 2 other companies from the SWIFT system,
Shit, yes.
which will make the international transfer of money very difficult for the Russians. Right? This is financially, right? This is doomsday. And they are seriously talking about a ban on Russian oil starting in December.
Good.
So, and they learned.
Yeah.
You can't trust the fucking Russians.
No.
So, anyway, they need to be isolated, and they need to be kept isolated because they're a fucking third world shithole country.
Well, and they're more fucked than the Soviets ever were on that.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Russians they put behind the Iron Curtain last time had never seen a YouTube.
Yeah.
These kids are going to know what they're losing, and, Russia, you've had internal security nightmares for a long time. This is going to be so much worse.
And they have banned 3 Russian state-owned broadcasters from European airwaves because they, quote, amplify Putin's lies and propaganda. So,
Hell yeah.
way to go, EU.
Yep.
Keep pushing them. But I think the EU has figured out Russia cannot be a partner. And that's the end of Russia.
Yeah.
Right. They'll be almost as important as Nigeria next week. So, well, maybe it'll take longer than that.
Yeah, this will force Russia into either unfucking itself somehow,
So I know how to
Or-
start.
completely into
Find
being...
Putin in a 4th floor window.
Yeah, no, they're about to be one of the not in charge of whatever the new Warsaw Pact ends up looking like. So, I don't know. Are they going to be Czechoslovakia in this new round? Or Turkey?
Yeah.
Or...
No, they're going to be Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
They're going to fall apart.
Fair.
And we need to continue our assault on the oligarchs.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, aggressively.
I
Fuck 'em.
understand we're talking about seizing their property and disposing of it and sending the proceeds to Ukraine. We can write that law. It's not a problem at all.
Yep.
So we should be doing that.
We should be throwing them out of windows or poking them with polonium.
Yep.
Don't poke each other with polonium
Yeah,
on the
no,
internet.
again, we don't support the crimes or the murderings of people, but this is a very frustrating situation, and we certainly...
But Russia's a fucking criminal country, and we should frame them for whacking some oligarchs.
Exactly.
Then we should go in and find the troops who committed the war crimes and hang the sons of bitches.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, I will never be sad when I hear of oligarchs, whether they be Russian or American or otherwise, dying. So, just saying.
Cool.
Boomer Rex's About Damn Time.
Whoa, Biden might even have found a message for the midterms.
Okay.
Again, he was elected based on the return to normalcy and all that shit, right?
Hey, it worked.
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe.
But
Right up until it didn't. Excuse me.
This is going to be hard, and I don't think another term of Trump would have been better.
Agreed.
Right, I think they would have learned all of these lessons much quicker than they have. And right
Yeah.
now they're playing defense.
well, let's keep them on the defense.
Oh, yeah.
So the new message is you're either with me or you're with predecessor Donald Trump's MAGA crowd, the most extreme group in American history. These are Biden's words.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is wonderful.
This is what we've been shouting about since we found out Biden was going to be president.
Yeah.
Is
So anyway, up till now, Trump's been, storming around and talking about how he won the election and all the rest of the pig shit. And Biden and his aides ignored him. They didn't even mention him by name. They just called him the former guy. But heading into those midterms, Democrats are in trouble.
Yeah.
And his position is, however much he may have disappointed some Americans, that chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan which was planned under Trump.
Yep.
Right. The highest inflation in 4 decades, whatever you want to point to. He wants him to remember that Donald Trump and his scum are still out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and it's
This is the beginning of the Jaws movie. The shark didn't fuck off and go somewhere else. It's just out in the bay digesting the pretty girl.
Yeah.
Trump lashed out Wednesday. The MAGA crowd is the most extreme political organization that has existed in American history.
Nope, it's the perfect description of them.
Yeah.
And they are. No, because we're going to joke and we're going to say this is the return of know-nothingism, and I really hope
And it
not.
certainly is.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
And, yeah, no, from everything that I've learned, and we are going to do more research, but from everything I've learned and from everything I'm seeing,
Those
Yeah.
cats shot
that might
artillery
be
at
a
it.
closer,
Aggressively
that
what
might be a
that is.
closer analog than the rise and fall of the Third Reich,
Yeah.
which fits
Right.
nearly perfectly.
That's how fascism always takes over in a democracy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
No, I think it's a mistake for the left to pin too much on the Nazi thing, because that means as long as they don't have a swastika, we aren't right. American fascism is going to be star-spangled fucking awesome. It's going to be monster truck rallies and kick-ass rock and roll. Bent to an evil purpose.
let them
Yeah.
eat cake.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Dumbass of the day. Who
So,
gets
anyway,
the
we've got Alito's
crown?
opinion out there. We can see where they're headed, right? It won't stop with abortion rights.
Nope.
And, now you have all the Republicans prancing around displaying the just poisonous masculinity.
Yeah.
But I found a wonderful quote today, and I thought, well, see if you can guess who said it. How many of the women rallying against overturning Roe are overeducated, underloved millennials who sadly return from protests to a lonely microwave dinner with their cat
Hold on.
and no Bumble matches?
Gee,
Second or third tier so they don't get fired for saying it. All right, I've got my guess. What do you think?
Oh, I already know. I read
Oh.
the fucking thing.
Oh. So, Matt Gaetz,
Ah,
who was the most
I would have guessed
poisonously...
No, he has just proven he's a misogynist. Thank you, sir. I always knew you were,
Did
but
you
thanks for saying it
ever
out
have
loud.
any doubts?
No, but
I-
now no one
He
else
said it out loud.
can rationally too.
He
And
said
if you're
the
a woman who
quiet
finds
part
him
out loud.
attractive, you're a fool and you deserve what
Fucking
happens
idiots,
to you.
all of you.
The world that would build is madness.
No,
Yep.
Matt Gaetz has. I'm gonna scream it to the world now. There's no more debate. There's no more maybe whatever. He's a misogynist. If you're a woman, he hates you. End
Yep.
of discussion.
So, after declaring the MAGA crowd the most extremist group in U.S. history, the president
Yep.
went on to speculate. He said, "What happens if you have states change the law saying that children who are LGBTQ can't be in classrooms with other children?"
Yeah.
And Peter Doocy pounced. What is he talking about? It's English, Peter.
Yeah.
It's a very clear and simple statement. That's
Thought it was the only
where
language allowed
the
at your fucking
shithole
company.
party is headed.
Orders. Don't say gay. Sorry.
Anyway,
Sorry,
so Jen Psaki
Yep.
clarified and educated Peter Doocy again, right? And he stood there like a 4-year-old with his mouth hanging open, as he always does.
Like a
Telling
little
you
baby
again,
bird.
that the thing was that Fox made him ask questions that made him look stupid, and I'm telling you, it's no look.
Aye. And it's not like this is going to lead forward to some better job, buddy. They just wanted
Oh,
a
yeah.
younger Tucker Carlson to look slightly confused and not understand things.
Yeah. No, he's just a joke.
And it's a sad part to play. I mean, you're on the stage. I get the argument. And you're worth more than I am, I guess. But I wouldn't want to be you when I wake up.
Agreed. A third of America is lost to hate. Is it time to move on? All right. I need you to tell me what you mean by this because we might disagree. But go ahead.
Okay. I included this as an example of what the Democrats should not do.
Yeah, fine. That
Right.
makes sense. Okay.
So you have a third of America who think all of this is just great,
Yeah.
right?
And I'd love to know how it is the
and
abortion is
keep
going to be what
hoping
solves the
for
problem.
political violence
Yeah.
and all the rest of it. And say it would
yeah.
be just fine and in defense of liberty. And the proposal here is, hey, we've got important work to do, right? Just leave them behind and let them marinate in their own putrid stew. And that's the wrong idea.
And didn't
These
work
are
last time.
Americans, right? We owe them better than this, and we, the Democratic Party, fucking failed them. So get up on your goddamn hind legs, do something for working folks. Now, again, you're going to ride roughshod over them at the beginning, over many of them, right? But make America work for them.
Yeah.
Let them learn that America can, in fact, work for them without having everybody shooting at each other, which is where they're headed, and they think they're going to run it. And boy, are they fucking
They
wrong.
think anyone's going to run it.
I know.
It's going to... Oh.
Somalia, instantly.
Yeah. Well, in my heart, my problem is, right, what's the other option is kleptocracy, like Russia or China.
Yep.
And I'm not sure failed
We're already
state
pretty
isn't
close
better.
to that.
Yeah, but we haven't beefed up the security forces. They're still keeping
Yep.
up the veneer.
Yep.
Right? We still all pretend we're shocked when... No, and that's, like I said, the hard thing for me is what's worse, kleptocracy or failed state? I mean, everyone trying to find clean
Yep.
water is real bad.
Yeah.
But
But at least it's all equal.
you're telling a free story, you're getting as far. Good fucking luck.
Yeah.
I think that may be what puts me over it. It's like my thing about internet. If you ever get to choose how the world ends, you pick fucking slow zombies. You owe me that. Because I think everyone that's fair. That you should have to be able to take out a human meat muppet. Good luck. Don't
Yeah.
hang out at Muscle Beach. What
You
can I
should
tell
probably practice that.
you? At least
So-
have a plan. Like make a defiant monkey noise and take your swing.
All right, Joe Scarborough says Republicans are freaks.
Well,
What's
I think
going on
everybody
here?
knew that.
Yeah.
But Joe Scarborough thinks we probably ought to say it.
Yeah.
So he was congratulating Michigan State Senator Mallory McMurrow, who forcefully denounced the groomer slurs lodged against her by a GOP colleague.
Yep.
Says, if I were running as a Democrat against Republicans, I'd say, wait a minute, we're the others? You guys bring loaded guns to airports over and over. You're QAnon freaks.
Yeah.
You actually followed a guy who said to put bleach in your body and shove lights underneath your skin instead of following science.
Or following closer, the other thing.
Yeah. You believe the cranks on YouTube instead of your family doctors of 40 years? You believe Italian dudes with lasers rigged the election? You're talking about Jewish space lasers?
Yeah.
You Republicans are freaks.
No, it's batshit and madness.
Yeah. And it's time
No,
to say so. It's time.
They went from being the party that didn't like sex to the party that's decided they're getting rid of sex for everybody. Like they're canceling all our subscription and hold the fuck
Well,
up.
you can understand,
Yes.
right? Again and again and again, we
You-
have these right-wing boys saying, well, none of the girls like me. It's because you're not educated enough to be interesting, because you're toxically masculine and you've got an idiot beard.
And you can't be bothered to learn any of that.
Yeah. No, I just...
Because any steps down any of the paths of self-improvement or at least self-fucking awareness.
Yeah.
No, and again, it's right, these are the people no one wants to fuck. Right?
I know.
George
but
Carlin's
it's
great.
worse than that. No.
Yep.
It's they look at these women and they say, she doesn't want to screw me. She doesn't want to go to dinner with you, asshole.
Yep.
No,
So-
I've dated these types of men. It's one night and then I'm good. Ugh.
No, it's the
Dinner.
same mania that fucking
Yeah.
Yeah.
drives.
Literally, I'm like, all right, that was a lovely dinner.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
See
go
you
now.
later. Yeah.
It's fundamentalist garbage all over again, right? These are the kids who are down to measuring their fucking eyebrows by the millimeter.
And
And you just watch them lose into fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Like, it'd be intellectualism if there was anything there.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
It just makes no sense.
What?
They're being freaks.
How to stick it to MAGA and win the abortion wars. Tell me.
All right. So what we've got are Republicans like Eric Erickson, maggots, saying, dear people upset by Roe, I want you to remember the feeling of dread you have right now. Now understand, this is nothing compared to the feeling you'll have on the day of judgment.
I have words for you, sir.
Well,
but
these
I'll
are
keep them
people
to
who think
myself.
that their mythical god should control what American women do with their bodies.
I don't believe
My God
your
has opinions on what we should do with their bodies.
My God
Absolutely.
is going to murder your God. Or has already. I don't know which. I'm just saying, fuck you. This is... I can't with this. Okay, anyway, continue.
Anyway, he's arguing through implication instead of speaking frankly.
Of course.
Because he knows that fornication is incredibly popular among the American public.
Everybody loves an
And
orgasm.
so while punishing the sex havers, at least the uterus-bearing sex havers, is the whole purpose of abortion bans. And they'd rather talk about almost anything else. Hey guys, we're the Democratic Party. We're the party of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and I don't remember when we forgot that.
Agreed.
So, and that's why I'm a member of that party.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a
And
platform I
I'm
can
sorry,
live with.
if we stopped being that party, I missed that memo and I need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone needs to tell me. I need to move on. Fuck.
Anyway, our problem is, and we have been focusing almost exclusively on the abortion question, on maternal mortality, economic deprivation, rape victims, etc., etc., etc. And we keep talking about the coat hanger. By the way, I thought wire coat hangers had gone by the wayside.
Mm-mm.
No, you can get 10 of them for $8.99 on Amazon. I checked.
Yep.
So, anyway.
Yeah, you can get mifepristone on Amazon.
I
Yeah, no, this is only going to affect...
I know.
their
No, I was just...
demographics. Yep.
What I was vaguely hoping was that metal coat hangers weren't available, right?
Hey.
And so on.
No, but malleable, anyway.
Yeah. Well, the plastic ones aren't going to work.
Metal's available.
Yes. No, I wasn't concerned that a mechanical abortion couldn't be performed. But the thing the Republicans don't want to talk about is sexual freedom, right? So
For a party that
I
can't shut
agree
the fuck
that
up
we
about
should
freedom.
we should continue to be aware of the maternal mortality and economic privation and so forth. But we should be talking about sexual freedom.
Yes.
And
When the fuck did the government become in charge of sex? That seems like a bad idea for people who want a small government.
yep.
What compelling state interest is there?
And so it becomes frame the issue as a battle between sex positive progressives who want people to enjoy their lives
Literally our problem.
versus the pinched Bible thumpers who want your life to be gray and sexless.
Well, they
Yeah.
want it to be whatever
The
their...
party of the insult.
Yeah.
No, and I'm sorry, but all teenagers everywhere are pleasuring themselves. All
Fuck
of them.
yes.
Whether you want to believe it about your little Susie or your little Johnny or not, I promise you, in their room,
trying some
when
stuff.
you're not around, they are touching their
Yeah.
no-no squares in ways that make them happy.
Yeah.
And that's healthy. You know what's unhealthy? Thinking that if you touch that no-no square of your
you'll
own
go to
volition
hell.
that belongs to you, that some god is going to smite you for it. Go to hell.
Well, at least it's a direction they know.
Well, they believe in it, so fuck
Yeah.
them. If you believe
Let
in
'em try
hell,
it out.
then I promise you that's where you're headed.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
No, American theology is fucked up.
And I
Like
hope
rubber.
they put me in charge of your torture there, you son of a bitch. Or bitches, or, whatever. Whatever bad word you don't like, insert here.
Yep.
Alright, are we moving on?
Yep.
Okay. Updates with Boomer Rex Climate Weirding.
Okay, so the situation in California has gotten worse.
What's up in California?
We're now trying to adjust the level of the lakes to do anything we can to be sure they don't run out of water, which would be amusing to watch, except half of Arizona gets its water from.
A lot of places we can do some stuff. We just have to do it. California, you're going to have to regulate some shit.
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, they've already told big sections they can only water their lawns once a week, which
Right.
isn't going to work.
That's
They've got to line the
minimal.
irrigation lines. They've got a bunch of stuff.
So anyway, that's going to be literally billions of dollars of landscaping that
Yes.
dies.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, the state's top natural resources officer said, "This is climate crisis in action."
Yep.
And should someone consider this a wake-up call? Said Wade Crowfoot.
We hear that
California
every time stuff like this happens, and nobody cares.
This might be
This
big
is-
enough.
This is not a wake-up call. This alarm has already gone off.
This alarm's been like blaring in
Oh, yeah,
everybody's
for years.
face for years.
Yeah.
It's just getting louder and louder and louder, and suddenly that line has been used just
for sure.
so many
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
times.
absolutely.
It's a wake up call. Like, how many times are you going to say it before you're actually going to do something about it?
Well, the problem up till now is it's only been waking up, people in Africa
Science-based, yeah.
and
People who are directly
Affected.
Affected.
by it.
right. Well, they're
People who
about
are
to be
indirectly affected by it don't think about
there are
it.
about to be millions of Californians directly affected by the water shortage. So,
Yeah, but
and my
California's
guess
already
is
got a
that
lot of
the
pro-
restrictions will not hold, and they will, in some places, literally run out of water,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is cool.
Yeah.
So your $3 million property is now worth $100,000.
Or less. If there's no water, no one's going to want to live there.
That's right.
All right. So I've decided that today I'm going to do what's on Facebook this week with Risen. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to discuss what I've been seeing and the trends. Again, I don't have a lot of Republicans on my feed, so this is what's going on with sort of the more left-leaning
Barnabas, let's
Democratic
go catfish fucking
type
Republicans.
people. Okay. So first off,
I'll bring you some Republican memes.
I want to tell you all. Well, I can just Google those if I cared. First off, go to Facebook, BoomerRexTonight, no spaces. Check out all the fun memes I've been making, and click on our Patreon link to give us $1. And I want to talk about the pro-abortion stuff that I've been seeing, and some warnings for the ladies out there. Okay. There are Facebook posts telling women to delete their period trackers because companies are selling that information, and there's concern it could be used to convict women of having abortions. Now, Roe v. Wade is technically still in place. I don't know if we can prove that this is something yet or not, but it's certainly a concern.
It would be very inconvenient in Texas where there's a 6-week limit and you can be sued today.
But here's the other problem with this. This is, again, people who don't understand what menstruation is, who are going to use this information. So, as a woman who has menstruated, and is menstruating, not right at this moment, but I'm still one who does. Anyway, the point is that sometimes when women are stressed, or maybe they're not eating right, maybe they're over exercising, maybe they're under exercising, maybe they're taking a medicine or a whatever. Sometimes you will skip a period. Sometimes you will skip 2. Sometimes you won't have a period for 6 months.
Yep. And
It's
you can
never
explain
happened to
that.
me personally, but I've had friends
Yeah.
who have
You
gone.
can explain that to the court in Texas after you paid a lawyer $6,000 to come with you to the first meeting.
My point is that this period tracking is not an accurate way to tell if a woman is pregnant or not. This
But
is
it won't keep you
ridiculous.
out of court in Texas. So
Yeah.
delete it. Stop doing it. Do not share that information.
Buy a notebook.
Yep. Calendar. It's easy enough.
Men shouldn't be making laws about women's bodies. I've seen this a lot on Facebook. Yes, but I think that pushing this is the wrong move right now.
Nope.
I think demonizing men, and only men in this, is a huge mistake for the left. I would recommend not sharing those memes and sharing better, more witty, more realistic memes, because the problem with the memes that are men shouldn't be making laws about women's bodies over and over and over and over again, all that's going to do is make every woman who is pro-life come at you and say, well, I'm a woman and I agree with this. And they're bad people too.
But they won't have any trouble filling up a stadium full.
Yeah. No, you're walking into a race.
This is a mistake, and I'm asking you all. I've been making a lot of memes related to this, and I will be sharing at least one meme a day over, from now until forever at this point. But what I want you guys to do is share our memes. Share our memes, because our memes are going to hit harder and they're more honest. And it's...
And the left sucks at them because we're not good at lying.
Yeah. No,
we get all bogged down and it's not actually 100% accurate. Like, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. Just shoot, motherfucker. Democracy's at stake.
Don't blame men for this, because there are so many men out there who support us and who are just as angered and scared for their daughters and their wives and their, grandparents or whatever. This is not good, because I understand a lot of people are like, well, why would you be concerned about grandma with this? Because this is the beginning, okay?
Yeah.
This whole overturning Roe v. Wade, you should also be worried about all the LGBTQ plus people out there, because this all goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
This is one step away from, women losing their right to vote, women losing their right to not have to have a protection of a man in their lives, okay? Yeah. Going out on the streets is going to become dangerous, more so than it already
to be escorted,
more so than it already is.
Again, this is the American Taliban.
Yeah.
Yes. This is not okay, and we all need to be on high alert. Okay?
Yep.
So let's just keep that in mind. Don't blame the men for this, or we're gonna go the wrong direction here.
And if your sex life doesn't conform to what their Galwood
says today.
Yes.
And the odd thing is, really quickly, since God doesn't exist and no one ever answers that line, they'll come up with some sort of head interpreter or emperor. Yeah. And that's who you're going to be.
Yes, who can interpret the word of God.
Or read the magical plates or anything. You want to know how bad it can get? Look at any theocracy you want.
Look at the Taliban.
Any theocracy. Point to a good one.
Yeah.
So, I saw several memes today, which I wish to share with y'all in case you haven't seen them. These have made me extremely sad, and I'll let you decide for yourselves. Give our girls wire hangers with their birthday cakes and poison with their pads. Give them death and illness and poverty. All the church's latest fads. Stamp their bodies with God's label. Wrap their wombs in man's control. Teach them fairy tales and fables of unborn cells with precious souls. Pretend the gray is absent and Christ is always there. Pretend the law is gallant and there's nothing much to fear. Is life really sacred or just convenient plot? For politicians seeking votes from Christians quickly bought. Step 1, grab a hammer. Step 2, bend it straight. Step 3 is a banger. Step 4, the children hate. Steps 5 to 10 are bloody. Step 11, hold your breath. For 12 steps in a back alley where 14-year-olds seek death. This is terrifying, because this is where we're going. Never gotten like this on this show before.
The good news is that Plan B and so forth is readily available. So, but it isn't going to change the fact, and there are already states that are in Texas. You use Plan B after the 6th week, you can be sued. There are states that are talking about restrictions on the travel of pregnant women. Seriously talking about. Right. It's all coming on. These people are freaks.
Yep.
So, anyway, call them freaks, drive on.
Sorry. All right, let's move on to the next one. A friend of mine posted, "It's come to this. If Roe versus Wade is overturned, and if you become pregnant and live in a state where you could be prosecuted, please do the following. Tell no one. Wear a hoodie and keep your head down buying any tests. Pay cash. Do not get a test through your doctor. They may have to report you you are pregnant. Use code if you need to tell someone for help. Still recommend you do not. Join a auntie network to get help. Start planning your vacation to a legal state. Do not email, only speak over the phone and on a burner if needed. If you are found out, do not speak to anyone without your lawyer, no matter how much they try to scare you. Do not talk to cops. They are not your friends. We say this all the time on this show. Remember, it's your body, and your say still matters. All of us should be stocking up on Plan B and other pills that can be used to stop or terminate an early pregnancy. Please remember, Plan B is ineffective if you are over 150 pounds. You need 2 doses. Fraterna Fund, South Texans for Reproductive Justice, Yellow Hammer Fund."
Yeah, shelf life for Plan B is advertised at 4 years, which means it's almost certainly good for 6-8 years.
You might have to take higher doses, though. Keep that in mind. You can look up the degradation rate after expiration.
But those shelf lives are based on storage in unpleasant conditions.
Yeah.
So.
And finally, I'm going to share a tweet from @HelloKaren's A. Probably should address the formula shortage before forcing people to have babies, but y'all don't care once they're born, right?
Nope.
This is not about abortions. This is not about pro-life. This is about pro-birth.
Right,
That's all this is.
as a punishment to young women for having sex outside of marriage. Yes, that's what the whole anti-abortion thing has been from the beginning.
If you know anything about these groups that go around and pretend that they're abortion clinics, or they're going to help you or whatever, and they talk you into keeping your baby, right? The crisis centers. These crisis centers are terrible.
Yep.
And what they do is they are super helpful and whatever. As soon as you are past the point in that state where you cannot get an abortion anymore, they dis-a-fucking-peer and drop you.
That probably means their networks will degrade in Texas.
Yeah, probably.
The money will dry up, and the grift will move on.
Yep, you'll find the new grift.
Yeah. Bleach. It's always bleach.
Yep. Go to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
So a friend of ours had a suggestion I thought was worth talking about, which was, okay, fine, you have all these states that are going to say abortion is illegal. What we need is a federal law that says every state must have safe harbor.
Yep.
Right.
That's the only way.
The only one I ever looked at, you take your unwanted baby to the fire station.
Yep.
Right. And that safe harbored infants, the state must guarantee that they will be raised and educated, and that they will have free education up to a bachelor's degree at any school into which they can be admitted at state expense.
Yep.
So, and that's one I think I'd like to see some of them Republican fucktards vote against that. Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna vote against it because this was
I'm
not.
sure they're gonna vote against it.
Not...
We're gonna hold it against them at every turn. We're gonna remind people that they are freaks.
Again, this is like we always say. This is control. It has nothing to do with whether a woman should or should not be able to get an abortion. And again, Women do not get late-term abortion. It doesn't fucking happen. If you're getting a late-term abortion, something catastrophic has happened
wrong.
with your pregnancy.
Yes.
The baby's not viable, or the baby's going to live a horrific life for maybe a year or two if you're lucky.
If baby and mother survive the delivery.
Exactly. This whole situation is just based on everything that is not science, everything that is not fact.
It's the
and
unthinking coming back again.
yes, this is
Well, if
absolutely
you're subject
terrifying.
to magical thinking, you're subject to magical thinking in every field.
Yes. If we educated them, we could shut that. We could make that a smaller number. But
We could absolutely.
no,
Those educational institutions
Oh, yeah.
are just, they're halves of liberalism. No,
religion has always
it's
hated,
when people learn
school.
things, they are likely to become more liberal.
and they're harder
But
to lie
hey,
to.
again, that's why you can't get a date, clown, because you don't know anything.
Yeah. No, but it's the vicious cycle part that'll lead them into. They think that the people who will do well in a rules-free environment,
Yeah.
will come to them for the
Security?
no.
Oh,
The people who can provide their own security don't give a shit about that. They want a
Yeah.
place they can go. The cops won't fuck with them. They want the state to leave them the fuck alone. Because there are people, right? I wish it were all incels. I wish it were all internet fuck-ups, right? There are genuine not fucking around neo-Nazi groups who have tiny armies. They'll be in charge of their valley by the end of the first day. You can't do agriculture in the face of even marginal resistance.
I understand.
All of that works both ways.
yes.
But there is no good route out of this. Anyone who's I think the first plague would probably start 3 years and it wouldn't be stoppable.
No.
Or at least you'd see how much
you
Johnny
wouldn't even
had got,
notice it until it
Mhm.
killed you.
let alone all of the problems that a collapsed society will bring you.
Yep.
It's been a long time since Americans if you didn't wash your hands, you could end up literally shitting yourself to death.
Yeah.
Right? Dysentery used to kill a lot of motherfuckers.
Yeah.
We have a whole system that our sewer system and water system are unsafely the fuck close together.
Well, and 10 minutes after the American Taliban takes over, they won't work.
Yeah.
So, good luck finding fresh water.
Half of American surface water isn't safe to drink.
Yep.
No, it's bad.
Yeah.
All right.
No, this is first I'm gonna share George Takei posted. Love George Takei.
Yes.
Those motherfuckers really did it. First, they came for black voters. Then they targeted LGBTQ plus families. Now, women of America, they're overruling Roe v. Wade. We have to unite and strike back, take to the streets, overwhelm them at the ballot box. They have gone too damn far. Thank you, George Takei. You're my favorite person
Absolutely.
for just this reason. But
So, tactically, do we want to, I feel like this should be dropped on a group, and I don't know which one. Because America's about branding, right? Pick
Yeah.
a group, label this as their brand, right? How incredibly on brand for...
Yes.
My problem, right, I'd normally say conservatives, because that's what they all pretend to be, and
Right.
since we don't...
Trumpistas.
Maybe, but I think that
American
means anyone
Taliban.
who... Again, they're going to be words people actually signed up for, right? When you want to
Okay.
break a constituency, you pick one and drive everyone out of it by making that
Okay.
brand toxic. So,
So the MAGA crowd,
yeah.
that's a brand they cheerfully endorse.
Yeah, that if you aren't with the MAGA crowd, there isn't much more hiding left, right?
Yep.
There's no, well, this other thing, or this other issue, or...
Yeah.
They don't appear to have any other issues, and they appear to get a lot more yardage than you do.
Yeah.
Even in your own people.
So you better be sure they don't win.
Stay home. If you can't vote for the other guy or work for the other guys, girls hip
Yeah.
90s with it, me. But
Biden can protect us from 2022 to 2024.
Yep.
Right. After that, you have to make sure that the MAGA do not
Yep.
rule.
no,
Or, hey, if you think that's the way America should be, more power to you.
you've
Again,
got to live in a
if
republic.
you live in a Republican state and you are a female, especially a female of childbearing age, and you know that one of these abortion laws is going to come through anytime, if you can possibly get the hell out of Dodge and move to a state that's going to be more friendly in case of some tragic thing that happens, please, please move. Do it. Do it now. Show them that we don't want to live under this type of rule, because if people start leaving Republican states in droves, that is going to be a statement that the Republicans cannot ignore.
And it's less representatives in places they're likely to be able to elect.
Leave
Right.
houses completely empty, apartment buildings, nobody's making money. Leave.
So, and the same thing for major corporations.
Yeah.
What the maggots are proposing is anathema to what your corporate values claim to be. You need to leave the red states.
Tide's going
Walk
out.
away.
We're about to find out who's naked.
Yeah.
So, and on all those happy notes, we are going to say, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, heart, follow, review.
true.
Go to BoomerRexTonight, no spaces, for fun and serious memes, and a link to our Patreon. Please give us $1. We want to do more, and if we can start getting some real serious Patreon subscribers, we can do things.
Plus, we need to fund the end of the world party.
Mm-hmm.
And an airship.
Yeah, no, because with an airship, we can go pick these women up. We can
Yeah.
take them where they
All
need to
kinds of
go,
stuff.
get the thing done, and bring them home, drop them off safely. No one will be
Is
none
there
the
a
wiser.
vertical equivalent to international waters? Yeah, 60-odd miles.
You can find us on YouTube as Boomer Rex. If you listen to even a few minutes of our show, please hit that like button. It does so much for us.
And tell your friends.
And tell your friends, share us, share my memes. I work hard on them. I spend hours.
Don't share them. Force your friends to watch the damn show.
Well, yeah, and the memes.
So, yeah.
Share the memes.
Share the memes.
Everywhere. Do it, do it, do it. Or check your favorite podcasting service for BoomerRexTonight. We can be found on over a dozen different platforms, including Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Samsung Podcasts. If we are not on your favorite podcasting service, please let me know. I will fix that mistake. And hit us up on Twitter at BoomerRexTonight. Love you all, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night
Bye, the internet.
on BoomerRexTonight.
I love you the most,
Bye, all.
first commenter.